What's up, Lowrider family? Welcome back to another episode with Lowlowsandmore. Now today, on this video, hopefully we do finish the Monte Carlo for real. All I gotta do is put the pumps back together, put oil in them, mount the pumps in the trunk, and put in the adjustable upper trailing arms on this thing. And that's pretty much it. I might have to make a wire or two to hook up the solenoid real quick, the 0 gauge wire. So let's get on to that. And in the last video I mentioned that I had to get bolts because I couldn't finish off the day because of the hardware store already closed. So I went to the hardware store before coming over today. I got the new bolts to mount them to the rack, and I got the bolts for the gear, the number 7 gear right here. So I already tightened them. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting them together. So, but make sure when you guys get the new bolts that they sit in here perfectly, because if they don't, then this gear is not gonna sit flush on the block. So these were the older ones, the bolts that came with it. They were hella long. Yeah, I could have just used a crap ton of washers, but I don't like using a ton of washers, making it look kind of ghetto. But you know, all I did was use 2 washers, and then a lock wash, and then the nut itself. So it doesn't look too ghetto. So you know, this way is the way to go, because this block only has 2 holes to mount the gear versus the one. This one came off of, it has 6 holes to mount. So let me get to it. Let me assemble these real quick. When I did take off the other motor, it kind of came apart. As you guys know, if you guys have dealt with these before, they're just a bit of a pain because you got to push back the man, I forget what they're called. But you gotta put, because they're kind of up here, they're spring loaded, and you gotta push back with like all your fingers and then slip it in. Hopefully it slips in. So, but I mean, I got pretty good at it. So it was, for me, it's pretty quick. For others, it might not be. So let me get started, and let's see what we can do today in this video. Hopefully finish up the Monte Carlo for real. Alright, let me put these pumps together. Alright, I got the front pump assembled, got the good gear and the good motor, and now I'm about to put one of the rear pumps back together. And I want to show you guys real quick of what I was talking about this motor kind of coming apart. See these blocks right here? Well, these are spring loaded, and they got to be pushed back into place underneath these parts right here, because these parts rub against the copper piece right here that has all those little lines. So with both hands, pretty much use both 4 fingers, push them back, and then this whole casing should drop down once you're right there. So unfortunately, I don't have my tripod with me, so I can't hold up the phone to record. So let me just do this here real quick, and I'll show you how it's supposed to look. So remember how it looks now. Okay, be right back. Alright, so I'm getting ready to make the holes in the trunk for the pumps, and I want to show you guys here real quick a trick for those that don't seem to, make holes right on the spot. This is a trick you guys can do. What I did, I put a piece of tape underneath the block. Once you put it on here, cut your excess tape around it, and then use a bolt, poke it through with the bolt. Don't use like a Sharpie or a pen or anything. Just screw it in like you're gonna screw it in normally, and then it'll create that hole, and you can take the tape off and then you can go put it wherever where you're thinking about mounting the pump, and just use a Sharpie to pinpoint your holes. So that's an easy way for you guys that have troubles making holes or something. I figured I just show you that real quick. So let me make the holes. I'll mount these and you guys will see how the setup will pretty much look in the trunk. Be right back. So I drilled out one set of holes. I'm ready to mount the front pump. I want to show you guys here real quick. Make sure wherever you mount your pump, you have the metal exposed, because you do want your pump to be grounded itself. You can use this right here, or a wire brush, or a wire wheel on your grinder, as long as you take off some paint right here. So let me mount the pump number one and we'll see how it looks. Okay guys, I got all the pumps in and mounted. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave it here for this part. All I gotta do is wire the dumps and wire the solenoids to the motors, and run a wire from the battery to the solenoids. I'm gonna run let's see, two cables from the batteries. Why? Was because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run one cable from the third battery right here, run one cable to the solenoid down here. From the solenoid, I'm gonna make a cable that's gonna jump from this side, from the battery cable that I'm coming off of, jumping off, going to the other bank right there, hook that up to that. Doing that won't screw up anything. That's the same way I have my own truck. I have not had any issues with it. As long as I'm using two different banks of solenoids. As long as you're jumping off from the cable where it's coming off from the battery, because one cable here to that, and another cable to that, to the other side. Because then on the other side of this bank, I'll make a cable go from there to here. And so, and it's just the back. I haven't had an issue, so it should be good to go. So, and then on this one for the front pump, since all 5 batteries are hooked up, because the 6th one is bad, I'm not gonna make a cable from this one, even though it is gonna come off of this one. But I need to make a cable so it comes off of this one. So when the homeboy gets a new battery, I'll hook it up back there, run it underneath the rack till the solenoids right there, and then from that side of the solenoids to that terminal right there for the motor. So, alright, well, this is where I'm going to leave it. Hopefully you guys like how the setup is. The side pump, the rear pump's at an angle. So when we come back tomorrow, I'm going to have the trunk cleaned up, and I'm going to have the dumps wired in, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do next after that. It's going to be the cables. So, alright guys, I'll see you guys in the morning. Alright everybody, it is the next day and it's already late. Don't forget to get one. But earlier this morning I had to help my sister. She had a flat. Took most of my morning, and then I did say that I would be back after I wired everything. But I thought I had an issue, but now I just seem stupid. But I'm pretty much gonna end the video here. Unfortunately, technically we can say that the MC is done completely. All I gotta do is, I still have to install the trailing arms, the adjustable trailing arms, and cut the springs a little. But I mean, we can pretty much say that this MC is done. I'll make sure once I'll tell you guys here. So I put the pump together, or the front pump together. I put it in there, and then this morning I tested it. It went up fine. 2 or 3 times, and then it wouldn't go up from there. I thought it might have been something wrong with the gear, because I had a similar issue with another friend of mine where the the gear would keep spinning, but nothing would happen. So I took the pump apart like 2 different times, thinking it was me or the pump. But after I put it back together, it started making this whining sound. At first I didn't think of it, but I took it apart again, put different O-rings from the gear to the block. But then I said, screw it, I'm gonna finish up the rest of the wiring. So I went ahead, I did all the cables from the solenoids to the pumps, all of them. And then I did say I made this cable for the front pump to go to the solenoids. It's like this for now, because that 6 battery is bad. So when the homeboy gets a new one, this cable is long enough to where it'll reach that back terminal over there. It just has to be tucked underneath and hooked up to there. So it's gonna look just like that for now. And then what I was saying earlier is that I'm only gonna have one cable come off for the back solenoids. I have a cable there. Okay, and then I have another cable there as well to jump it from that bank of solenoids to the other rear pump bank solenoids right there. So instead of having 3 cables on one terminal, just one, then jump over. But make sure that it is jumping over from the battery cable itself, not from the cable that goes from the solenoid to the motor of one pump. Make sure it's from the one coming from the battery. That's how I have mine set up. That way I don't have too many wires running everywhere. So the wires for the rear pumps I tucked them. I have not tucked yet the wires that are underneath the bar, because I was missing with this front pump. That's why this part right here is not tucked either. I'm still dealing with it. I didn't crimp them yet right here. It's just there because I was testing. But because it ain't working, it's because these batteries are apparently drained. Because after I couldn't figure this one out, I hooked these up, tested them, and then the same deal. So my dumbass forgot to charge the batteries. So technically we're done. It is going to be a clean setup once I tuck everything. I'll make sure I do a small video of me testing the car, kind of hitting the switches, making sure that everything works later on, before I turn in the vehicle. So technically we're done. Technically I can say that we're done, and we can pretty much end the MC series. So hopefully you guys liked the video. To me, once again, it's another dead end for some reason, but I need to charge the batteries. I completely forgot. So hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you guys like how the setup is. Those wires are just hanging up there because they're the amplifier cables. But hopefully you guys like it. I ended up doing the hold downs like this. I don't know if you guys saw. Just grinded the bar and then put clear coat on them. I guess you can call it my signature way, because I did this exact same thing on the white caddy. So I guess that's my signature, you can say. But other than that, hopefully you guys like the setup of how it's pretty much on this lowrider right here. So if you guys like this series, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Watch all the other videos, and don't forget to subscribe. That helps me out a lot. Thank you everybody who has been subscribing. And I wanted to point out real quick, I am thinking about making sweaters or shirts with Lowlowsandmore on it. Comment down below if you would prefer sweatshirts over sweaters. I mean, over sweatshirts, hoodies or whatever, over shirts. Let me know so I know which ones to probably start making. That's not a done deal yet, but I just want to know your guys' opinion. Comment down below. So those can help me out with the channel along with the stickers. Remember, $3 a piece, shipped to your place, no extra shipping. That's $3 shipped. So if you guys have any questions, remember, don't forget to comment down below or email me right here. You guys can email me, no problem. I'll answer back. Sometimes it takes me 3 or 4 days the longest to get back to you. Sometimes 5 days, but I try to get on the email every 2 to 3 days. I'm doing my best. And follow me on Instagram right here. And if you guys want to get some updates there, you guys can. You guys can also DM me there. It's totally up to you. So, alright guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Cool? Peace.